Assalamu alaikum and welcome to the Debe Islamic Association's Ramadan Reminders. This year we will be looking at faith versus disbelief, which is the first major section of Surah Baqarah, chapter 2, the chapter of the cow. Today we shall be looking at the explanation of ayahs 11 to 13. Since we are now in the middle 10 days of Ramadan, the days of forgiveness, let us recite the recommended dua for this time. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Astaghfirullah Rabbi min kulli dhanbi wa atubu ilayh. I ask forgiveness of my sins from Allah, who is my Lord, and I turn towards Him. As we look at Surah Baqarah and how it can be subdivided into 9 major sections, notice that we have labeled the first section with the first 20 ayahs A, and the last section made up of the last 2 ayahs as A prime. And that is because both of these, the first section and the last section, is covered by the same major topic, faith versus unbelief. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala addresses this at the beginning of it and at the end of the surah. This reflective nature is seen in the next major topic, Allah's creation, as He addressed it in the second section and in the second to last section, the penultimate section. This linguistic miracle we can see in Surah Baqarah, this reflective nature, is the same that we saw when we looked at the Tafseer of Surah Yusuf. We will be discussing for this Ramadan Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's description of faith versus unbelief as He addresses it at the beginning and then at the end of the surah. As we've now moved into Ruku 2, Allah has moved away from speaking about the believers and the unbelievers in Ruku 1 and now begins to tell us about the hypocrites and the consequences of hypocrisy. So this is now a third category of people. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala warns the hypocrites when He says in Ayah 11, وَإِذَا كِيلَ لَهُمْ لَا تُفْسِدُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ وَإِذَا كِيلَ لَهُمْ, and when it is said to them. Said to whom? Allah is addressing the hypocrites. And what does He tell them? La tufsidu. La, do not tufsidu. And we can see within that word here the letters Fa, Sin and Dal, which is forming the word fasad, mischief. So La tufsidu, do not make mischief, fil ard, on the earth. So here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continues to warn the hypocrites about their behavior. And the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam spoke about this when he says that mischief is disbelief and acts of disobedience. So when we talk about types of mischief, it includes ignoring third acts, doubting Islam, lying to the believers, hiding in their hearts their mistrust and lack of faith, and supporting the deniers of Allah. Those were the types of mischief that the hypocrites were getting into. And the ayah concluded, Qulu, they said. So the hypocrites are replying to this. And what did they say? Innama nahnu muslihun. Certainly we are only muslihun, those who make peace. So they are quite denying the fact that they make mischief on the earth. Allah explains the issues created by the hypocrites, those claiming to be Muslims, when they even choose their friends. Where He says, Allah innahum humul mufsiduna. Verily, it is they who mufsiduna. And within that word, we can see the letters fa, sin, and dal. Fasad, corruption. So verily, it is they who spread corruption. وَلَكِنْ لَا يَشْعُرُونَ. But they perceive not. They don't realize even that. One form of fasad or of mischief is taking disbelievers as friends. As Allah spoke about this in chapter 4, verse 144, where Allah severed the loyalty between believers and disbelievers, when He Almighty says, O you who believe, do not take believers as awliya, as protectors, helpers, friends, instead of believers. Do you wish to offer to Allah manifest proof against yourselves? And the reason for this is given where He says, and those who disbelieve are allies of one another. If you, speaking about the Muslims, do not do this, that is to help each other out, there will be turmoil and oppression on the earth and great mischief. وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُمْ. And when it is said to them, when the advice is given to the hypocrites, Aminu, believe, have Iman, Kama, just as, Amana nasu, just as the people have believed. And the people that we are speaking about are the people of Medina, because this is where the surah is being revealed. And who are the people of Medina? They, the majority of them, had converted to Islam. They were Muslims. So this excellent advice given by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is to advise the hypocrites to believe just as the Muslims of Medina have believed. Do not be hypocrites. Do not go down the wrong path. Qulu. And this is how the hypocrites, they reply to this. Anu'minu kama. So should we believe just as amana sufaha'u, just as the foolish have believed? So Allah is telling them, giving them this lovely advice, believe as the Muslims have believed. And they say, should we believe as the foolish have believed? So look at their claim. Did the hypocrites believe they were at the same rank as the companions? Actually, no. They believed that they were at a higher rank and that the companions had chosen a foolish path. A path for people who are ignorant and with little beneficial knowledge. And the ayah concludes, Ala innahum humus sufaha'u. Unquestionably, it is they, the hypocrites, who are the foolish. وَلَكِنْ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ. But they don't know it. They are unaware of the degree of deviation, of how much they have drifted off from the right path and further away from the truth than one who is aware. We have now come to the end of the fifth part of the explanation within the theme of faith versus disbelief. The first ruku, or first section, was made up of ayahs 1 to 7, with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaking about the believers in the first 5 verses and the unbelievers in the next 2 verses. And then we went on to the second ruku, or second section. This section concerns the hypocrites, which will be from ayahs 8 to 20. In our next video, part 6, we continue our discussion of the hypocrites, inshallah. We now end with the dua. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم. Our Lord, accept this service from us, for indeed you are all hearing, all knowing. Assalamu alaikum